Good morning.
Welcome to Disc 3, or Part 3. There's no disc. And episode 50. We're on episode 50.
Oh shit. Was that lady always on the side of that airship?
Yes.
Hmm.
So this is where they leave you after that cutscene. If you climb down the ladder, you go right down into the North Cave. And you do, it's basically like the final dungeon of the game. We're not doing that shit because we got other shit to do.
Yeah, fuck this critter.
But now we also have a high wind that's rocket powered now. So, there's a lot of extra stuff to do now, basically. You could do it. You could basically leave the North Crater whenever you want, but I figure I may as well just do it all now, and then do the whole North Crater as like its own thing all the way through. So there's weapons to fight, there's glitches to do, it's all sorts of fun stuff. I made like a checklist a while back of like things I want to do before I finish the game, and a lot of them were like just killing weapon and like breeding chocobos and stuff, but I did the chocobo breeding thing already, so we're just kind of like gonna be checking off stuff as we do the next few episodes. So one of the main things that I want to do here is more item duplication.
Hell yeah.
But more item duplication that's not possible through normal W item glitch means. So, like I said before, you can only duplicate battle items. So, anything that's not a battle item, you can't really duplicate. Unless you do one of the kind of variations on the W item glitch. So we're going to be making our way up Mount Nibel here to our first little showcase. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be duplicating the source items, like the power source, the mind source, all those.
Right.
So the way this works is it's something called, they call it the morph glitch, but it's a variation of the W item glitch. It works basically the same way as the normal W item glitch, except instead of duplicating an item that's already in your inventory, we're going to be duplicating one that we're adding to our inventory. And basically what that allows us to do is it allows us to basically duplicate anything that we can add into our inventory through the morph command. So for this to work, you need a single use of any battle item, like a potion or a high potion or ether, or whatever it happens to be. That item's going to be sacrificed. It's going to be gone, like that. Secondly, the battle has to have at least 2 enemies, so the battle doesn't end. And as you can see here, once you're in the battle, you tell the character with the morph materia to morph the enemy you want the item from. And then before the morph action completes and the item's added to the inventory, you use the W item materia with another character, select the single item from the menu, and then you wait for the morph command to complete. What that does is it adds the morphed item into the item slot where the first item used to be, and when you hit cancel, it duplicates that instead of like duplicating the original item that was there, and you basically carry out the whole glitch like normal. So there are 6 sources in the game: power, guard, mind, magic, speed, and luck. And the morph glitch can be used on the power, guard, speed, and luck sources. But the mind and magic sources take a little more effort because the mind source is only morphable from enemies that appear alone, and the only place where magic source is morphable, and there's more than one enemy, is in the battle square. And the battle square sucks. We can only do the battle square with a single character, so that makes that a little difficult to actually do the duplication. It's possible, it's very simple, but it's annoying to do. So the way we're gonna do it is through something called the steal glitch. But we'll get to that in a bit. Basically, what I'm doing here is I'm duplicating as many power sources as I can, applying them to my characters, and then doing it again. And just do this over and over again with these 3 characters. I'm not going to do it with all the characters in the game. And you get your power stat up to 255, which is the max. Some might say
there's no way of going over and resetting it to 0. Like,
yeah, you can't
some games do.
You can't overflow it. It stops once you apply it to the max. It just does that. It goes boop boop, and that's it. So we can do this way. The morph glitch. We can do that with the 4 sources I mentioned, but the other 2 will be a little iffy.
I remember, I think it was Civ, where Gandhi's
overflow thing?
Yeah, Gandhi would overflow into,
I think that was underflow.
Yeah, it was underflow.
What happened was Gandhi, was it Civ 3?
Probably.
Anyway, what would happen was Gandhi's hostility rating basically was the lowest value it could be. But then there was something that you could do, like I think it was like adopting like a republic or like democracy or something that would lower everybody's hostility by like 2 points or something. And what it would do is it would underflow his hostility back up to the max value of like 255 or whatever it was, and make him just go nuke crazy.
I don't think they ever patched that out. They kind of toned it down, but I don't think they ever like stopped that from being a thing.
I don't think they could patch it out. I mean, that was like at an era before.
Oh no, I mean like
really
in later games. I think he's still like he gets crazy.
I think in like Civ 4 and on, they kind of went with like instead of doing stuff like that, they just basically made it like you can make people have random personalities. And sometimes Gandhi's just a hostile, crazy son of a bitch. Anyways.
Covered it up.
Yeah. The guard sources are duplicated from these guys here. So yeah, we basically just... We're doing this with all the sources that we can morph. I'm not gonna waste my time. Well, I wasted all of my time. I'm not gonna waste your time by making you watch it all.
I mean, you could.
I mean, I could, but then the episode would be so damn long.
And that's how you pad out 300 episodes.
I don't need 300 episodes. I was expecting to have like 80 episodes. Because I figured, a 40-hour game at half-hour episodes, 80 episodes. But, you know what? Whatever. Anyway, so here's where we are here. We're back in Midgar. We're going to be doing the Steal Glitch. Which is, once again, another variant of the W item glitch. And the way this works is essentially the same as the Morph glitch, except we need an enemy that can steal items from us. That's what these bandit dudes here are. We need a single use of the item you want stolen in your inventory, because, well, you'll see. You get a single use of the item you want stolen, and then also a single use of the thing you're going to be sacrificing, right? So once the item you want to duplicate has been stolen, like the mine source here, you kill the enemy that stole it, and it gives it back. And you basically just perform the W item glitch like you would with the morph glitch. You need a single use of the item that you want stolen to duplicate, because it has to be removed from your inventory, so when it's returned to your inventory, it goes into the highest slot it can. And that's how you duplicate your mind and magic sources without the crazy amount of effort it would normally take. Anyway, so what I didn't show here was I don't show me getting the speed sources, which you get from those like ugly squid things.
Yeah.
They're like, I think they're called like squid poodlers or something. I
Yeah.
don't know. They're by Junon, by the like on the beach, and I didn't. You can get luck sources from the bad rap enemies, like the octopus squid things in the Sunken Gelnika that appear together. But those you can get normally. The other ones, like I said. So what happens is there is. Oh well, I should say what we're doing here. We're fighting Ultimate Weapon here. Ultimate Weapon, the way his gimmick is he only sticks around for a certain number of turns or a certain amount of damage before he just leaves and flies away and he goes somewhere else. But he doesn't just go right to where his next spot is for you to fight him. What he does is he flies around for a while, all around the world, and you have to bump into him with the high wind in order to get him to go off to his next area.
Right.
But you have to find him first. And that's what takes the longest amount of time, is you have to fucking fly around the whole world and find him. And then bump into him, and then follow him to where he's gonna go.
That's really fucking absurd, but alright.
Yeah. So anyway, with the downtime we have here, I'm going to explain the other ways that you get the Mind Source and the Magic Source. So, the Magic Source, what you have to do is you need to go into the Battle Square with the Morph Materia linked to the Counter Materia. And then, once you're in the fight with the proper enemy, which is called 8 Eyes, you sit on the W item command and you wait for the enemy to attack. And when you get hit, you'll counter with Morph, which allows you to both morph the enemy and use the W item glitch at the same time with just one character. Now, we have the counter materia. Well, we have a counter materia, but it's not the right counter materia. We have the counter attack materia. We need the plain old counter command materia, which is in the North Crater, which we haven't gone into yet. Also, kill the Midgars all in one hit just for fun.
He respawns, doesn't he?
Yeah, he'll respawn as soon as you kill him. Anyway, so the Mind Source is the most complicated to get, and requires multiple final attack materias, which final attack materias allow a character to do a linked action when they die. So you link the final attack to, like, a spell or morph in this case. What you do is you get one character with a final attack material linked with morph, and another character with a final attack material linked to something like Full Cure or some other spell with a very, very long cast time.
Right.
And in addition to that, you also need a second character, or you need the second character that has the Full Cure also needs to have the Master Magic materia linked with another quadramatic, with a quadramagic materia. So you have one character, Full Cure, linked with Final Attack, and Quadramagic linked with Master Magic. What Master Magic materias do is it allows you to cast any magic ability in the game. And if you have Master Magic, it means you can cast Full Cure as well with Master Magic materia. But if you also have a Full Cure materia linked to something else, it'll apply that to it as well. So you have a Quadramagic Full Cure linked to Final Attack.
Oh.
So once you're in the fight, you get the enemy low on health, and then you have it kill the two previously mentioned characters. The first character will use Morph and then die. That kills the enemy, and it gives you the Mind Source you need to duplicate. So then you have to do the whole duplication thing, like I mentioned in the last episode, with the mashing X and circle over and over again.
Right.
The reason the battle doesn't end, since normally it would end as soon as you kill the enemy, the reason it doesn't end is because the other character that died is going to be casting Full Cure 4 times, which gives you time to duplicate as fast as you possibly can, as many times as you can, and hopefully you can duplicate a whole bunch of Mind Sources in that time. And then you rinse and repeat. That's the way to do it if you're not going to do it through the steal glitch. The reason the steal glitch it's probably more time consuming to do the steal glitch. Well, actually, it's more time consuming to do it the normal way, because you have to get a whole bunch of like final attack materials and the fucking master magic command materia and all that. But the steal glitch takes a very long time because they have to steal the thing you want them to steal, and they can steal literally anything in the game.
Yeah, so because they could just steal all your tents, you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, well, so they can steal weapons, they can steal armor, they can steal items. I don't know if they can steal materia. I've never seen them steal materia. But yeah, basically they can steal anything in the game, and when you have a crap load of items, it takes a while for them to steal the right thing. So...
And there's no item management in this game, right? Can't just shove it into a box.
Right. I could sell it all, but... So it takes a little while. Not too long. I know it took me about an hour to get him to steal the mine source once. So yeah. I mean, I could use cheat engine and just give myself the rest of the mine sources. But that's so fun. So anyway, back to the actual game here. What you do is you bump into him 4 times, at least 4 times. That's what everyone seems to say. And then he'll go off to a random spot. And depending on the spot he goes to, it'll either be a ground battle or an air battle, or ground battle, air battle, or some other battle. I think you can either fight him while you're on the ground and he's floating in the air, while you're on the ground, or he's on the ground and he's on the ground as well, or while you're like floating above in the high wind. And depending on which type of battle it is, you can steal specific things from him.
Ooh.
One of those things is a reflect ring. And the reflect ring just basically applies reflect to the wearer.
Well, isn't it like a certain amount of damage gets reflected back, or all of it gets reflected back?
Well, no. So what reflect does is it will reflect spells back at the attacker.
Oh.
So it won't reflect physical damage, but it'll reflect spells. What that means, though, is that, you know, if you're getting the crap beaten out of you, and you're like, oh shit, I'm low on health, let me cast, Cure on myself, and you cast Cure on your whole party, and 2 of your party members have reflect rings on, it reflects those 2 full cures back at the attacker, and they get cured.
Haha! Fuck you. That's... that's kind of a shit.
It's kind of a useful tactic to have Cure on yourself in some situations, like, not in this Final Fantasy, but I remember there being, it might have been 10, where there were certain situations where an enemy would counterattack with a certain ability if they took damage, like any kind of damage, or like magic damage, or whatever it happens to be. But if you put reflect on yourself and then cast the spell on yourself and reflected it onto them, they wouldn't counter it. I feel like that's a thing. I don't think I made that up.
It's like casting heal on undead enemies, or resurrect, or whatever the fuck. Phoenix down.
Yeah, using like a Phoenix down or an elixir or something on an enemy.
You just go, what? No! And explode. So how many times have you fought this weapon so far? I feel like it's been 6 or some shit.
It's a bunch. Well, I'm trying to steal stuff from him, so I'm not really attacking him too much. What happens is, he will continue to get into fights with you and run away after a certain number of turns or taking a certain amount of damage until he reaches a certain threshold. And once that threshold is reached, he'll fly and go over and float over Cosmo Canyon, and that is the final encounter with him, and that's where you actually kill him. What you have to do is kind of like, it's tough for me right now because a lot of my abilities just deal a whole shitload of damage, because I fucking duplicated all the sources. So right now I have a steal materia, which is what I want to do. I want to steal stuff from him, but it's upgraded to mug, and when you use mug it also does an attack. So what I've done is I've linked the steal as well materia to the sense materia. So I use sense on him, and then you steal as well once you use sense. You can't sense, like, you can't use sense on a weapon, like, it doesn't give you any information about its health or level or anything. But you steal as well, and so you just sort of sense him and then steal, and sometimes you get something, sometimes you don't, and then he'll fly away. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. So I'm trying to not to get him to get below that threshold. Okay, I think I might have been thinking of you, Yevon, from Final Fantasy X.
More.
And the thing was, if you cast Reflect on him, usually when you attack you, Yevon, he counters by casting Curaga on himself. But if you put Reflect on him, when he casts Curaga on himself, it cures you instead.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that might be what I'm thinking of.
That's also like a really shitty move. Just constantly Curaga.
Yeah. First time I ever played 10, like back when it first came out, I like rented it from Blockbuster, and I just couldn't figure out how to fight you, Yevon, because... What are you doing? Just flew right over me. Yeah, so I couldn't figure out how to fight you, Yevon, so I like ran out of time, and I didn't feel like fucking renting it again, so I just gave up. Because I had never gotten Reflect on anyone.
Oh no.
So yeah, this is the annoying part of this. It's just constantly having to track this thing down.
I feel like you're almost done because you slowed it down.
This is basically like Extreme Monster Hunter. It's Monster Hunter with an airship. But anyway, yeah, now that I don't give a shit about, like, gathering stuff anymore, stealing stuff, like, I just gave up. I was like, you know what, this is taking too long. So, now I'm just beating the shit out of him.
Goodbye.
So of the optional weapons in the game, Ultimate Weapon is probably the easiest, because he has the lowest amount of health, at only 100,000.
But you also gotta find him all the time.
Yeah, but finding him isn't deadly. Like, now he's probably over at Cosmo Canyon, probably.
Hope.
There he is.
Kick his ass.
That's basically what we're gonna do here. is we're just gonna use Barrett's Limit Break here. Maybe use Cloud's Limit Break. So Barrett's got one of the Reflect Rings on that I stole from him, and this is doing shitloads of damage. So this is enough to kill him. But the thing is, once you knock out all his health, his final attack is Shadow Flare. Shadow Flare does boatloads of damage, and he uses it on whoever deals the final blow. But since we have Reflect, it doesn't do any damage to Barrett, and he learns Shadow Flare. Yeah, so now we know Shadow Flare on Barrett. We also get 3,500 AP and 35,000 XP. And we get Ultimate Weapon, which is Cloud's ultimate weapon.
Awoo!
Awoo. And then he leaves his big crater. So that's that.
All right.
Next time, I'm gonna try to fight Ruby Weapon and Emerald Weapon. I might do it. I might die. I'll probably, definitely, maybe sometimes be able to fight and beat Ruby Weapon. But Emerald Weapon is a pain in the ass, even with maxed stats.
They'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, like, even though the stats are maxed out, I don't have max health. Max health would be 9999, and that you can't actually just cheat your way to. Well, actually, in the PC version you can. You just hit a button on the save, on like the save manager, and it's like, here you go, 9999. But the only way to increase health is to level up. So, gotta get your level up.
Back to the grind.
Back to the grind. Alright, that's it. We're done. Good night.
Good night.